So, hi guys, that's the second part of the video that regarded the SRK. Sorry, I had to cut the first version of it because it was too long, and yes, I had some issues with the phone camera, so I start again in this with this picture that was made, as I was saying, by Giuseppe, and while he was making the handle for the SRK, and he had some issues because the tongue over there is not symmetric. The good thing about the SRK is that the thing over here, it's all rounded, it's not at 90 degrees, and that's good because the tang which made the 90 degrees angle over there is a stress riser, and it's a point where the tongue can actually break, and that's the good thing is that the SRK has a rounded angle over there, and that's made him stronger because as I explained in some old video about the stress riser, the 90 degrees over there actually is a problem for the forces that goes over the knife from the handle to the blade, from the blade to the tang, etc, etc. And yes, that was actually a problem not for the strength of the knife, but for the maker himself, that had to make a guard that fit in the tang of the SRK, because there are some big difference between the two portion of the knife. It's not symmetric, and I actually don't know if all the SRK in cpm3v are as mine asymmetric, or if that sort of problem is maybe the an exception, and maybe this one is the only one. I don't know. It feels strange to me that with the CNC and the modern machine there are that big of a difference between the portion of the knife. And also the other important thing is that the hole inside the handle is asymmetric as the blade himself. So in my opinion, maybe it was done with the project is actually just like that. Maybe it's just asymmetric for I don't know which reason. Maybe the handle. Don't know. Let me know in the comment if you know more about that thing, if all the SRK has this sort of asymmetric portion over here, or maybe just the cpm3v ones. And in the back of the images you can see the portion of the handle that were actually started to actually add some sort of a hole inside, and he basically was preparing the two portion of the micarta handle that were actually glued all together with the guard, and then the pin at the end of the tongue. And yeah, let's continue this with this video, and I will show the next picture, which is of course the other portion of the tongue, of the asymmetric tongue. As I was saying, it's bigger at the edge and it's a little bit smaller at the back of the knife. And yeah, that's are the images of the tongue. That's the back, smaller, and that's the edge, which is bigger over here. And yes, he was doing some measurement for the handle, and yeah, that's basically the tongue of the knife, and that's the first images of the whole handle that was basically almost done. Those are those micarta scales that were actually add all the hole for the tongue, which is basically perfect for the tongue. It goes inside very well, while the original one has some space at the end because the hole inside is bigger than the tongue of the knife and it's rectangular, while the end of the tongue is all rounded. So that's actually a spot where dust and water and other things can go inside and actually ruin the tongue of the knife, or it's actually an empty space where the tongue can do some sort of moving, and maybe that was part of the problem that I was having with the knife. That was basically the movement of the tongue inside the handle. Those can be all possible reason for it, basically, and that's carbon fiber, of course, and micarta, and yes, that's basically the part where he glue all the things together. As you guys can see in the previous images, he basically over there has already done the accommodation for the asymmetric tongue over here and here, and in fact, if you guys can see well, and yes, I will show in a minute, its elaboration were actually asymmetric for the back and for the portion where the edge of the knife is. And yes, that's basically a nice detail of the guard of the knife. And yeah, then basically you had to glue all together, and it was a nice process. And he said to me that because this knife is hidden tongue, the glue actually take a little bit longer time to stick all together well, because with the full tongue blade you have some air that can actually made easier and fastest the process where the epoxy glue actually became some sort of solid materials, and the handle is all stick together. And he also said to me that for actually be sure that inside the hidden tongue, because it's all closed, the glue was all solid. Basically you have to put the thing, this portion here of the knife, inside some sort of basically use some heat to actually be sure that the glue inside the tongue was solid. And that's some sort of nice touch from Giuseppe. And yeah, that's basically the whole handle finished, and that's the final images of the knife all done, which you can see in my hands right now. Yeah, the light is quite bad, of course. And yes, those are the details. And I don't know if you can see well, but basically he also did the same thing that he has done for the scrama, which basically is for the guard over here to use some sort of mixed glue with carbon fiber dust to actually make the glue over there black and the same color as basically the carbon fiber. And that's a nice touch from Giuseppe, which is very skilled and talented, and yeah, that's basically the last images of the SRK with the whole handle near the new handle. And yeah, basically that's all for this video, guys. I hope you like it, and now this is the old sheath, and yeah, that's basically the old part of the SRK. That's the new one with the new sheath. And the only problem is that the loop over there for the belt is too long and rattle quite a lot, so yeah, maybe I will made a loop just like that for the knife, which is more secure and don't actually move too much. But that's the only problem of the new sheet. Besides that, that's kydex, which is a lot better than the old Securex one, and yeah, that's basically all for this video, guys. I hope that you like it. I know that you will probably prefer to see the knife in the field being used and tested, but maybe someone will find this sort of video interest, because maybe you have some knife with rubber handle and you wanted to make a custom, maybe by yourself, if you can, custom handle for it, and you have to aware that it's not easy, and it actually require a lot of skills and knowledge, and it's not for everyone. But fortunately there are some people that do that for living, that's their work, so you can contact them and send the knife to actually be modified. And yeah, because somebody say to me, it's easy, you actually only need a nice piece of wood, and you it's very easy, you can make by yourself an handle for it, you don't need anything, you only have to buy some glue, it's 2 hours, all done. That's not real, guys. That's not the case. It requires a lot of skill, a lot of knowledge, and it's not easy, because when you remove an handle you don't know actually what you can find behind. The SRK had a lot of issues. The tongue were all oxidated, and the tongue was asymmetric, and it's not easy to actually do what Giuseppe did for this knife. And yeah, there are people, of course, that do that for a living. That's their work, and they can do that well. But I don't think, and I don't advise everyone who has an SRK or some sort of similar knife to do an handle by themselves, because it's not easy, and yeah, it requires a lot of work, and it's not for everyone. That's of course my opinion, and as I was saying, I hope that you guys like that video, and let me know in the comment what you think about that modification, and if you expected to see, or if you expected all those sort of problems with the tongue of the SRK. I was. And yes, that's all for today, guys. Bye, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.